have styles. If you just say, well, here I am, as a human being, how can I express myself totally and completely? Now, that way, you won't create a style, because style is a crystallization.
Alright, it's me, Al, at Al's Drum School, here for another episode of the Al's Drum School podcast. First of all, anyone who's listening, or if you have been listening, I just want to say thanks. This has been quite a new venture for us, and we're really enjoying doing it. Excuse me. I'm really enjoying doing it. I know Jordan's enjoying doing it too, and we're having a really good time. And this week is just going to be another little mini episode for you to have a little listen to. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about my time that I spent in India with my wife. Well, she wasn't my wife then. She's my wife now. We spent three or four, I think 3 months, cruising around India. And part of that time, I spent studying with some drummers over there. And I mentioned it really briefly in a previous episode. And someone asked me to talk a little bit more about that. So I'm gonna see if I can dig into my memory bank. It was quite a while ago that we went. So I'm going to do my best to honour that time and tell the story of that. Excuse me, clearing my throat. It's autumn here in the UK, and so the temperatures are changing, so we're all getting a little bit sniffly. And my wife had a cold and my daughter last week, so hopefully I'm not catching that, but maybe I am. Maybe it sounds like I am. Anyway, you don't need to know about my health. So my time in India, we've done many amazing things, but obviously this is a drumming podcast, so we're going to talk about the drumming. We arrived in a place called Pushkar, and sort of as you're sort of in the mode of backpacking, you sort of find your place. We would sort of know where we were going next, search a hostel, find that hostel, check in, and then sort of get settled. And we got there the first night, second night, and I think it was probably even the second or third night, I could hear this drumming. So if you've never been to Pushkar as well, it's like a huge, they call it a ghat, which is basically like a mini reservoir, or like a sort of small lake that's man-made, and there's concrete steps. And forgive me if I get this wrong, but it's for worship of gods, as far as I'm aware. So, and there's temples that are dotted all around it, and all the houses are dotted around it. It's really, really beautiful. And we were staying on that ghat, on that lake, and we were out on our terrace, and I could hear this drumming over the lake at sunset every night, or on this night that I was there. And I heard it the first night, and I think we were probably pretty tired or whatever it was, or the first time I heard it, so we didn't sort of go hunting. But I said to Annie, I said, I got to find that. I mean, obviously, I can hear that, and it's pretty intense, the sound that's coming from it. So next day, off I go on a mission. It starts. I follow my ears, and I find this group of drummers sat on just on a little sort of concrete platform overlooking the ghat, the lake, and I was completely blown away. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it now. It to say that the noise they were making was powerful, I think, would be an understatement. It was incredible. It was overwhelming. So I kind of caught it shyly, I guess, was a bit coy, kind of moved my way closer to sort of have a listen, and I sat down, and then I realised that there was lots of Westerners, travellers as well, playing, as well as a select few Indian men. And as I kind of got closer and closer, one of them ushered me over to sort of have a go, and obviously I jumped at the chance. And joined in. Now, the drums that we were playing are called Nagara. I believe the set is called Nagara. I think the male and the female is Nagara and Nagari. Forgive me if I'm getting any of this wrong, guys. It was a very long time ago. And it's a set of drums, and they're kind of almost like a bit of a teardrop shape. Or if you sort of cut a rugby ball in half, each drum looks kind of like the half of a rugby ball. One's big and one's small. So you sit cross-legged and you play and you hit these drums. Now they're set up in quite a weird way. They're set up facing each other, so the two drums sort of face in, and you play with your trying to describe this so you can imagine it. So put it this way, it's not how you'd imagine, or rather, it's not how we would hold drumsticks as sort of typical kit drummers. It's a complete opposite, total opposite, which feels very, very strange at first. So you sit cross-legged, each drum is sort of facing inwards, kind of like pointing at your shins if you're sat cross-legged, and you flick the drumstick rather than hitting down as we do as Western drummers with the stick in the palm of your hands. You actually flick over the top, as if like if you're wearing a watch, the stick flicks over the watch and onto the drum that way, which is really, really strange. So anyway, I joined in. I'll continue the story, sorry. And I joined in and I started playing and I had an absolute ball. And there was like 10, 12 of us all set. And then, you know, they'd bring up more drums and it just gets louder and bigger and just incredible experience. So as the days went on, we stayed there for, well, longer than we had expected in the end. And I'll explain why. But the days would come and I'd go there at sunset, have a play, you know, and that went on for 3 or 4 days. And then the men that were drumming, so I'll give you a quick insight into these guys as well, is a family called the Solanki family, and the sort of head of that family at the moment, I don't know what the sort of proper terminology is, forgive me, but he's the granddad, if you will, is a guy called Natu Lal, or Natu as everyone calls him. And there's probably people listening to this who have met him. I'm definitely not the only one who got to share this experience with him and his family. He asked me if I wanted to come and have lessons, and of course I said yes, absolutely I do. So a couple of days go by, we organised for me to go down there. I think it was 10 a.m. my lessons were with him, and it was just me and him in a tiny little room on the side of this lake. And I can't even begin to describe how, what's the word? Like, I mean, to say special is again, is a bit of an understatement, but the time that we had together, the way he plays those drums is unreal. It's, oh man, I'm like really want to swear just to emphasize it. Incredible. An incredible musician, an incredible man, and we spent the best part of, I think I went there like every day for about 2 weeks. We were on a trip doing things and we had deadlines to, or not deadlines, but places to be. We were meeting people and stuff, so I kind of wanted to make the most of it, so I went there every day for like 2 weeks. And the stuff that he taught me, the knowledge that he imparted on me and shared with me is incredible. It gave me such a different lens to look through when I think about rhythm and how rhythm works and how we approach rhythm, and also just coming away from the sort of standard eighth note, quarter note, like, you know, backbeat on 2 and 4 sort of style that we're accustomed to in the West. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I fucking love that stuff. That's, you know, I do it every day. It's amazing. But to have a different perspective on it was just incredible. It was really, really cool. And not only that, something that really struck me was that, like, I'm not by any means sort of religious, never have been, but I do have sort of spiritual practices. I meditate. I believe in the universe or a higher power or something else that has a say in what's going on in our life. And it was so ritualistic, the way that they treated these drums and the way they handled them and the way they respected them and the way they looked at them. And that just really took me back, and I just took, yeah, that's the word. And I just, it was incredible. I'm probably repeating myself a little bit because I'm a little bit lost for words as I'm sort of thinking back to that time. It was fucking unreal. So we went to Pushkar. I heard these drums, I met these guys, and I started studying with them. And his family are all, as far as I'm aware, I think certainly every man in his family that I met were all drummers, every single one of them, which I thought was amazing, from a granddad right the way down to, they may have even been great grandkids. I don't know, but just incredible to see this lineage through this family of drummers, man. Fuck, it was amazing. And they all were just so keen and so good and so helpful, and they really wanted you to learn. And It was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. And then, so after we spent that time in Pushkar, as I said, I got a bit addicted. I went there every morning, and I think I probably went back on some sunsets as well because I wanted to join in the sort of the ensemble playing of all the other people. He asked me to play at a wedding with him. And again, I'm not the only one. I'm not saying all this because I think I'm special. There's plenty of people that have gone and done this. I'm just sharing my experience with you. He asked me to go play at a wedding with him in Mumbai. And it just so happened that we were going to Mumbai to meet my mum and her partner anyway. We were going to go spend a couple of days in Mumbai. So we'd done it. So I accepted, and and we turned up, and it was very surreal, right? It's very strange because I'm like in India, but I'm getting gigs, and I'm like doing stuff and getting there for sound check and all this crazy stuff. So anyway, he gives me the address, and it's in this Raj Group hotel, and it's absolutely enormous. It looks like a fucking palace. It looks like someone out of Aladdin or something. It's amazing. So we go in, and I mean, it was literally, we were playing for like half an hour, but they dressed me up in a full white robe, big pink turban, and which for a sort of, for a Western guy, that's quite strange. That, you know, like, not strange, but it's just new and it's different, and I was very open to it. But just a real life experience, man. Like, something really, really special going on there. So we play this wedding and we have a fucking great time, and everyone's dancing and the drums are thumping away, and it was just really, really cool. My wife was there, and we ate some beautiful food with these people, and it was just an incredible experience. And I'm so grateful that I was invited to do that amongst some of the other people that were there, some of the other drummers that he invited along, and just a really, really special experience, and something I will never forget. Again, I'm getting goosebumps as I sort of revisit these memories. What an incredible thing that I was able to do. And then since then, Natu and his family travel around the world a lot, doing gigs, playing at different drum shows, playing at different art centres, like sort of cultural festivals. And I've met up with him once or twice in London, which was really also very special. I went to watch them play at the Barbican. That was really, really cool. I've since bought a set of Nagara from him, which are, if I'm totally honest, I'm not going to lie, they kind of have sat in the store because my studios aren't huge, and I'd love to. I've always felt that if I was going to get them out, I wanted to do it properly, and I wanted to honour it, and I wanted to make, you know, like a space for them, and they sit, and maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit, but I have played them over the sort of last 8 years in the time that I got them. But anyway, yeah, they come over a lot, and I get to go and hang out with them, and we went for a cup of tea and had a good chat, and he's a very if you've ever been to India, you kind of know what I'm talking about. There's so many things you could say about India. I mean, gosh, I went there for 3 months. You know what I mean? You could spend a lifetime and still be blown away by things you see. But there's something about it, and some people you meet there, like, so Natu is this big guy. He's got a huge, big, bushy mustache. You know, he's very calm when he talks to you, touches you, and he looks you in the eye, and or when, you know, he'll sort of place a hand on your hand and really gives you the attention, and it's very maybe like awe-inspiring, I guess is the way to say it, when you're in the presence of someone like that. It's beautiful. It's really, really cool. So that was my experience. That was a sort of a bit of a condensed version. This is only a mini episode. That was my experience over in India with the Master Drummers of Rajasthan. So that's what they're called. And if you want to check that stuff out, I'm sure you can find plenty of it on YouTube and Spotify. In fact, I'll tell you what, you could probably, I'm going to put the links in the show notes, because you should just buy the CDs direct from them. They sell records, so I will put the link in the show notes for that, and you can go and check it all out. And I'm sure they'll be over here touring sometime soon as well. So why not go and see them in person? Or if you're in India and you're listening to this, or you're going, go to Pushkar and meet them and play with them. I promise you will not be disappointed. Like, it will, for me, I wouldn't say it changed my life, but nearly. Like, it would certainly change my perspective on drumming massively. And it's definitely something I would recommend. I couldn't stress it enough, actually. Go and do it if you're there. Just go and do it. And that's it for this week. That's a bit of a brief overview of what happened when I was in India with those drummers. But someone asked and I wanted to give you a little insight into that. And I wanted to make people aware, if you want to go and do that, then go and do that, because it's really, really, really incredible experience. And that's me for this week. I hope you're all having a wicked week. Don't forget, we have our beginners course available now on the website. It's up. You can go and get it. It's everything you need if you're thinking about starting playing the drums, or you used to play the drums and you've got the drums in the house and you keep looking and thinking, I'm going to get to that, but I don't have time to book a lesson. That course is there just for you. You can purchase it. You can watch it a million times over. You can also speak to me at any point in real time. You can WhatsApp the business number, the school phone number. You can also DM me on Instagram or reach out by email. All of that information is available at alsdrumschool.co.uk. Head over there, check it out, and I will catch you in the next episode. Peace.